Hello, everyone. Welcome to an exclusive interview with Kirsten Liegmann. She is the founder and the president of the Foundation for Humanity and is creating the Hope 11.11 event. And we are welcoming her today as one of our collaborators for 11.11 Unify. So, Kirsten, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Oh, I would love to. Thanks for having me, Anistara. This is really a joy to be with you here. I mean, how can you not be in joy when you see that beautiful smile?
Thank you.
Just a little bit about me and what we're doing. Really, I've been on a journey of evolution. That's how I like to call it for, the last 15, 20 years. We all have had our own various journeys. And so my husband and I, we are co-leading, co-facilitating, inspiring, coalescing who we call the new humanity. And it's really all of us who are bringing ourselves into a future that is so delicious that we want to live there. We want to that our longing gets activated. And it's looking at who can we become as human beings and looking at that journey of waking up 100%. So that's really what we focus on. And so this event that we're doing on November 11th, 11/11, we love that number, don't we?
Yes, we do.
It really has been just this long journey from the beginning of this year. And it really came about as we're tuning into what is going on in the world and feeling into where the collective is going and feeling the density that is increasing in the world, and that density being the anxiety and the fear and the stress. And I mean, 2020 has its own meme now, right? I mean, we're like, what the hell, But it's not just 2020. It's a larger densification that is happening in humanity right now, at the same time as there is lightness coming out, right? We are in a binary reality. So yes, there is this density. And when you step back and look at what is the nature of the universe is to be in balance. Balance is what it always strives for. And so here we are in a situation where we are completely out of balance between fear and hope. Those two are, hope being a lightness of being, hope being the ability to imagine into the future, hope being open, joyful, playful. It's sort of the catch-all phrase that we're using. And so really, Hope 11.11 is about bringing balance, fear and hope.
I love it, right? And it's so true. Everybody's been through so much this year, and just the layers upon layers of what is occurring and how it's actually affecting us physiologically, psychologically, emotionally, and so many of us are looking for that place for light, for inspiration, for empowerment, and to pull ourselves away from just as you say, the fear, right? So the vibration of love, the vibration of hope, the vibration of harmony, these are the things that we want to embody and bring into our own selves, as well as our community and the world and our Mother Earth. Right? Being in harmony with Mother Earth, with our community, with our family, and within ourselves is key right now to our development and our growth, and ultimately humanity's enlightenment and where we're going and co-creating our future Earth. And so when I first met Kirsten, of course, it's all online. And I just want to give this woman a big hug right now because she is such a soul sister. Literally, the visions and our conversations together have been so aligned and so deeply connected to the belief that there is hope. There is a way out of this dark age, so to speak. And we're moving into that golden age of enlightenment, that age of Aquarius. And so when her and I first spoke, it was like instantaneous sisterhood. So appreciated everything that she said, all of her viewpoints and perspectives, and really felt a deep resonation with all of her words. And I knew in my heart that there had to be a way for us to collaborate, right? So here it is. We have 11.11 Unify. We have Hope 11.11, both of them virtual events on the same day, right? And we all have our own content as well. And so we're like, how can we collaborate? How can we cooperate rather than being two competing events on the same day? And so we found a way, didn't we, Kirsten? Would you like to share a little more about your experience of that and how we're going to unfold?
Yeah, well, it's always so interesting, you know, when you're putting your heart and soul into an event, and you're just like on this one track of I'm doing this event, and I'm going to do everything I can to make it the most amazing event possible. And then all of a sudden you get this notification, oh, there's another event happening. It's like, so the question then becomes, is your immediate response, oh shit, look.
It's all right.
or is it, interesting opportunity, right? And so what you and I decided to do, I think I reached out to you and said, here we are, we're doing something, you're doing something. What, can we talk? And I think that opened up the conversation. And, as since we're here now, we did decide that, trying to combine forces, trying to combine our energetics of what we're trying to do. And if you don't mind, I'll go a little bit more into what the impetus was for us to actually do this. Besides, balancing the fear. How do you balance fear, right? How do you actually do that? You can intend to do it. That's fine. You can try to step into hope, but really, I think this is our opportunity to draw on tools that have always been here, but we haven't really tapped into. And what I'm talking about is the tools of frequency. And what I like to do is I like to compare it to when the first people, the scientists, found bacteria. They surmised that there was something that is unseen that is causing something, right? You know that it took 100 years to get the hygiene code of washing your hands before surgery. It took 100 years because it wasn't seen. You couldn't touch it. You couldn't feel it. You couldn't smell it. So therefore, does it exist? I don't know. He might be crazy, right? Dr. Right? And so I see frequencies in a lot of ways the same way. Frequencies are an apothecary of the energy medicine. They really are. We just don't know that yet. We don't understand the power of frequency and how it can heal. I mean, you said the energy of hope, the vibration of harmony, the vibration. I mean, we're using the language, but what we're doing is we're taking it that next step of saying, no, we're actually going to be very, very precise with the frequencies. These are frequencies that cannot be measured on the Hertz scale. So our science, because they don't know how to measure it, they say it doesn't exist. But just walk into a forest and feel the energy there, and then walk into a downtown city and feel the energy there. Do you feel a difference? Then you know what frequencies are. Thank you very much, right? And so fear has a very, very dense energy, and you can feel it. It's like a weight on your shoulders, and it's contracting, very contracting. And so we were gifted, really, my husband, Rennie, was gifted with the access to the lightest frequency that exists in this reality. And we're calling it electrical life in its purest form. And that is the frequency that is embedded in the Hope meditation. That is the cornerstone of our event. So really, that's what was the impetus for us to do this event to begin with, is to have my BHAG, you know, big, hairy, audacious goal. My BHAG is to have 1 million people do this meditation. And it can help avert panic and hysteria and you know, everything that comes from that state of being. So just this tsunami wave of this frequency, which we're calling pure hope. That's pure hope put into the world can actually change the outcome. And there is scientific measurements of past meditations having an impact on things like terrorism activity, violent crime. So this is not just conjecture on our part. So we want 1 million people to come. And so again, coming back to where we just started, our collaboration, which is, this is my, I mean, everything else that we're doing is fun. It's wonderful. It's incredible. It's thought-provoking. But really collaborating together on having our tribes come together for this.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you. Thank you. And frequency, this is the 1111 tuning fork. And so this is at the beginning of the video and at the end of the video. And it is the frequency of, it's the angelic frequency is what it's known for. And actually symbolizes spiritual awakening and enlightenment. And so this frequency has been embedded into all of our programming. And when we have our portal videos at 11 through 1111, that is the frequency that we're drawing in and bringing in. And so we have your hope frequency, we have the angelic 1111 hertz frequency. I'm sure many other frequencies will come through, right? As presenters bring forth their gift the day of. And so I wanted to speak a little bit about how we're collaborating. And so Kirsten and her husband, Rennie Davis, have created the Hope 1111 meditation, of which she was just starting to speak about. And I would love for you to expand on what that is and share with us where you can find it online now. And then what we've determined or how we've played together is that they are going to be playing that meditation starting at 11:11 a.m. Mountain Time on November 11th. And so our 11:11 Unify virtual event will be tuning into their live stream at that moment in time so that both of our audiences can be together. Both of our tribes can be there with us for that meditation. And then on the other side, we have from 1 to 1:11 p.m. Pacific time, 11:11 Unify will have our synchronized global prayer for love, peace, harmony, and unity. And so we'll be live streaming to their virtual event at the same time. And on the 11:11 Unify virtual event platform, you'll be able to see all of Hope 11:11's content, as well as all of our content side by side. So just like flipping a channel, you can take a look at what you want. And we'll just be weaving together in that way, being in the field, working with the frequencies together of that day. So can you expand a little bit more on the meditation itself and kind of walk us through the process of what it's going to be like for us?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So, going right back to the frequency conversation, and I love that you just showed a tuning fork because it's a little hard to hear in the meditation, but if you pay attention really well in the beginning, so it is a 39-minute meditation. So it is expansive because we need to get ourselves into the right space to be able to hold the frequency of electrical life in its purest form and then broadcast it again. It's not one thing, something that you can just sit down, okay, now I'm ready, now I'm broadcasting it. It's you know, we need to be more mature about it. And so the meditation sets you up perfectly to get into that space. You want to quiet your brain, absolutely essential. That the more you can quiet the brain, the more you can open up into the frequencies. It's just the way it works. Part of waking up 100% is about quieting the brain. The more you're in your brain, the more asleep you are. And so that's part of this process. And so then the meditation takes you through fully relaxing your muscles, which is the 128 hertz. So when you listen very carefully, you'll hear the tuning fork in the background. And then you go through dilating and relaxing your nervous system. And this is absolutely essential. The nervous system is where the frequencies flow through you. So, you know, think about a tube. If it's contracted and tight and closed, that frequency is not going to flow through your nervous system with you. And, you know, I mean, there can be some physical repercussions to that. I used to get itchy arms from tight nervous system and frequency work. And then relaxing your bones, your skeleton. We always think of the skeleton as a tight, a hard shell, but actually it's not. You want to imagine your bones to be malleable, kind of like a rubber band hanging off your finger. And so it's those three relaxing frequencies that come in, and you really want to let yourself sink in. And then we open. And there is, again, a frequency through, and this is also on the hertz scale. We use the tuning fork like you just had, and it's in the similar range of the 4000s. That is an opening frequency. And so you want to open up, open. And once we once we set the framework and get you ready, then you go to where this frequency comes from, the electrical life in its purest form. And it's a central sun. That's where the frequency comes from. And this is the gift that we were given, that my husband was able to access and bring back. He brought into this lifetime the ability to, you know, record in his body and then rebroadcast it out. So all of our meditations are done like that. And then we sit and we allow the frequency to flow through us, and we're sending it out. Then we start broadcasting it. And this is the important part. It goes into a band that is around the equator. It's set up already, and everybody who's been doing the meditation already is contributing to that band already. And that is what we'll be doing for a good amount of time. So really allow yourself to sink in. And if the monkey brain starts like, oh, this is taking too long, or I'm bored, just let yourself come back to the feeling of it. Because guess what? It doesn't just get rid of fear in the world. Gets rid of your own fear. This is about your own liberation from the emotional drama and the emotional debris that is in your body. So let it just be a joy, like a wonderful bath or a wonderful shower in.
Right. We love those. In fact, yesterday I took a beautiful bath in Himalayan and Epsom salts before going out for the evening. We have a 5-year-old son, and he really wanted to go be at a birthday party. And I knew with the blue and the full moon and Sawan and just all the energies, I was like, okay, I'm putting my little bubble of protection around me, right? So that we can still be in our sovereign bubble, or sovereign light bubble is what I like to call it. And so, wow, so much to be shared. And I know that you have a series of other presenters and people who are going to be coming on and sharing with Hope 11.11. And I was hoping that you can give us a little sneak peek and who some of your presenters are going to be, or some of the topics that you'll be discussing that day?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm in full interview mode right now, and I just get so excited about what comes out. And I love interviewing. I love that back and forth, and just the wisdom, pulling wisdom out of people. I love that process. And first, I just remembered that you had asked me, where can people get the meditation already?
Yes.
If you go to hope1111.com. There on that page is you can find the meditation. I think it's the middle one. There's 3 options, and so you can go to the middle one and download the meditation already. And again, do it as often as you can before the 11th, because that'll condition your nervous system. It's like going to the gym. You get your nervous system conditioned. The more you do it, the more you'll be able to contribute on the day of. So just saying.
Cool.
So yeah, so basically the way Hope 1111 has unfolded is that we wanted to create a day of hope, obviously. And so around the meditation, which is absolutely the cornerstone, we have built an event that is all focused on exploring how we live, grow, and thrive in alignment with the intelligence of nature and in harmony with each other. That's our goal. It's looking at, okay, how is humanity living on Earth right now? Clearly what we're doing ain't working. We are kind of going towards a cliff right now. I mean, in every way, in every metric that you look at, the way humanity is living on Earth is not sustainable. It is not respectful. It is, and it is basically self-destructive at this point. So the question is, we are at a choice point. Do we put our foot on the accelerator, right? Which in certain circles, that's what it seems like. It's like, let's just full barrel into that wall or off that cliff. But we have a choice right now. We have a choice to say, are we going to make a leap in our awareness so that we can change our thinking, so that we can change the way we live with the earth? And so part of what we're presenting in the afternoon are explorations of that. How do we grow our food in a way that is honoring of the earth, that is in relationship to the earth, in cooperation with the earth? So I have a permaculturalist, Andrew Langford. He started the UK permaculture movement and now runs Gaia University, which is a university built on permaculture. He's going to be part of this. And I have this lovely gentleman on that panel from Malawi. His name is Luwayo Biswick, and he is basically growing food in the poorest area in the world, one of the poorest areas, and they have a flourishing garden. So it's just demonstrating how we can do it without destroying the earth. Then we have a whole panel on health and well-being. What does well-being really look like in a future world? And so I have these 2 incredible people that I just interviewed, Todd Nelson and Deanna Minnick, and just exploring what we're calling New Humanity Well-Being System based on core principles. And one of them, here's a sneak peek, one of them is our relationship to our body. We have got to change our relationship to our body and understand that the body is a partner, not something that you're just dragging around. This is a partnership, right?
Indeed.
So new governance is something. And let's see, what are some of the other ones? Healthy soils, that new governance. And then we have musicians, woven throughout. So we have interview, musicians, spoken word, more music, voices of hope. And this is for your viewers, please, please, please go onto hope.11.11.com. If you scroll down, you'll see a Voices of Hope section. And what we're asking people to do is to contribute your answer to the question, what inspires hope within me? Just 30 seconds, 60 seconds, just record it. You can edit it. You can re-record it so it doesn't go right away. That was like, but I don't know if I'll do it right away. People who are not on camera like you and I are. Right? But contribute that, because we're going to play those throughout the day as collages that we're doing of your voices. So add your voices to that.
I love that. An open invitation. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing some of those tidbits. I'm really excited to see some of that content. And it's really amazing what happens when you open that portal to the 1111 magic. And I just want to speak to that for a moment. I know that it's been a powerful number for both of us in our lives in so many ways. I myself was born at 11:12 p.m., it says on my birth certificate. So I literally came through the 1111 portal in this incarnation. And so it's been a number that has been in my awareness and my consciousness for so long now. And as my husband and I have been hosting 1111 gatherings for the last 10 years, this is our 11th annual 1111. And hence, in the state of the world that it is in right now, we wanted to bring it virtually so that more people can be a part of it and we can grow a network of fellow 1111 gatherings, whether they're live or virtual. As you can see this year, it's all virtual. And so Kirsten and Eden World and Connected Community, these are all pieces that we're pulling in to create a group presentation or a network of presentations. And this will expand in the future. We hope to have 1111 gatherings all over the planet, including at sacred sites, megalithic structures, and chakra points on the planet, so that we can reactivate these sites and these power points on the planet. Hi, kitty. I saw the tail sweep by. And we can reactivate these power points on the planet, just as we are reactivating and aligning our own chakra and meridian systems, so we can on the planet as well. And 1111 has just been such a potent, powerful, magical place for me in my life, for some of my community members. Some people stop to just take a breath. Some people make a wish. Some people say a prayer. And if we come together in community in that moment, we acknowledge that moment in time together, then there's this energy of unification and unity. And that's where the vision for 1111 Unify was birthed, is really coming into unification. And so a big piece of that, and where we see the future Earth vision, our collective future Earth vision being co-created, it comes because of cooperation. It comes because of collaboration. And so competition is a piece of the old paradigm that's falling away. And in order for us to move into cooperation and collaboration, we felt it would be a great example and a way to show that this is how we're going to get there. This is what it takes for us to thrive, right? And so how do we play well in the sandbox with others, so to speak? Yeah. And I wanted to just drop in with you and find out a little bit more about what 1111 means to you, because it's always been such a intriguing question that I bring to many people, because it means so many different things to everyone. And right, there's no one way to view what 1111 is. And so can you share that with us?
Sure. It's really interesting, because for me, I'm not tied to any tradition around it. It literally has become a number that is a joyful, almost like a game that I play with my body. I mean, my body now knows how much I enjoy seeing 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1, you know, and it will go out of its way to help me see when it's 11 11, when it's 1 11, you know. So I have trained my perception to, whenever I see any combination of ones together, it's automatically, that's my all is well number. And that's how I have trained myself to, you know, shift my state of being. Should I be in, you know, too focused, too stressed, too whatever, you know, I look up and I see 11 11. It's like, oh yeah, all is well, you know. So for me, really, it's as simple as that. And I understand that there is a lot of connection to that number through various traditions, through various spiritual beliefs. And, you know, I think there is an energetic that has evolved around it that connects us. You know, however you enter it, whether it's just a playful thing with the body versus something that is more energetically connected to, you know, a star portal or whatever.
Right?
It doesn't matter. It's the fact that it seems to be a number that is uplifting, that is opening, that people find joyful, that there's a relaxing that happens with it. And so we're just kind of milking that for all it's worth.
Understood. Yes. Well, my husband and I, we remarry every 5 years. And on the weekend of 11/11/11, we had a 3-day like mini retreat festival wedding where we had speakers and presentation and music and dance. And then we had our ceremony. And and then actually recently Foster Gamble reminded me that Thrive, their first Thrive documentary, actually launched and came out 11/11/11. Nice. And so it's in a lot of people's awareness and it's growing and it truly is a phenomenon. And so regardless of how each person acknowledges it, works with it, embodies it, it's a unique moment in time. And so we're honoring that in the best way, blessed way that we can.
And really, and when you think about it, the most important part of it is how you feel about it. I mean, for anybody who's listening, it's like, does it shift your state of being? Because as we are on this journey to wake up, one of the understandings is that we actually have the ability to make the choice of our state of being. What state of being do you want to be in? Do you want to be in fear or do you want to be in joy? Do you want to be in anger and resentment and blame and finger pointing? Or do you want to step into appreciation and gratitude, innocence, open curiosity? You know, we have the ability. There is a way to learn to do that. And so, you know, if we use these little tools like 11/11 to be sort of a little trigger of, I can shift out of where I'm at right now if I don't want to be there and shift into where I want to be. So, and for me, it's all well, you know.
All is well. I love that. All is well. Yes, indeed. And that is such a good lesson for all of us, that all is well. Like even in the most challenging, darkest of times, or when we're going through something that can just seem like the end to us, right? That all is well. We get through it, you know. We learn how to survive. We learn our lessons in life by our biggest challenges. And so you get into an accident or something. It's like the lessons that come out of that are profound. And that is what helps define who we are and helps actually navigate our path and our life. Like, oh, I was on my way doing something and then this happened. And suddenly I had a choice to go this way if I wanted to. And so we are on that great precipice. We are in that moment of moving from one age into another. And how is it that we're going to move forward? What is it that you're inspired by? What is it that you're empowered by? What is it that is guiding your life right now? And so I have found personally that when I go into my heart and I really, really just listen, and I listen to that higher self, inner voice, whatever you want to call it, that is my inner compass. That is my guidance towards being ethical and having integrity and just being able to sit in a place of being at peace with myself. If something is hard to go through on the outside, then finding peace within helps me view that peacefully, right? And so, same thing with hope. It's like if I'm fearful of something, but then I recognize that if I put that aside and I begin to look at it through the lens of hope, what is possible? And honestly, everything and anything is possible, right? So, would you like to speak a little more about your ideas of hope and what that means for you in your life?
Yeah, really hope for me at the moment is the conglomeration of, what I'm calling waking up 100%. It's just that catchphrase, if you will, that embodies at the moment that this incredible journey that we're on, if we want to choose it. What does it mean to wake up? What does it mean to wake up 100%? And following that and understanding. So to go to what you were just saying, that ability to go inward and listen internally, that I find that there is some complexity to that, in that we have all these voices that are at the table at the moment, right? And in our work, the understanding is that there's thousands of egos that we have, and they're all vying for the personality seat. Whoever is on the personality seat, that is who's running the ship that is called Anistara, that's running the ship that is called Kirsten, right? That personality seat. And so what we're doing as an mostly asleep species, is we have these egos that are going around that personality seed, waiting for their opportunity to jump on, be it the anger ego, be it the irritation ego, the judgment ego, the blame ego. You could go on and on. It's basically anytime you have an emotional reaction, there's an ego behind it, and it just jumped onto your personality seat. So when you get quiet, are you listening to an ego speaking, somebody who's on your personality seat right now? Or have you dropped in enough, quiet it such, and learn to check your ego such that you are actually tapping into what we call your authentic self? That part of you who's always been you, but you have to choose to become. And so quieting the brain, as I said earlier, is one of the most essential aspects of that. The ability to let the artificial thing that is up here in your skull go quiet, and you drop in and allow your authentic self to come through, to allow knowingness to come through. That is your truth, your aligned flow of next feel-good moment. And so discerning who is speaking when you get quiet is really one of the skills on the journey to wake up. And so I see, a group of humans doing that right now. And, talk about hopefulness, really being able to self-observe yourself to the degree that you're willing to step out of the addiction to that. That brings me hope. It brings me hope that people are starting to touch their authentic self, because that's what's going to open it up. And the 100th monkey is a real thing. We just need, those of us who've come into this lifetime to try to wake up 100%, to just remember that that's what they came here for to do, and then make the journey. That's how we change the world, is by changing ourselves, not any other way.
Yes, exactly. Be the change you wish to see.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
And it's interesting because most of my adult life, I never had a nickname or anything. And some people have asked me recently, who is this Anistara? And the best answer that I can give is it's my true authentic self. And that name has been sitting with me for a good 15 or 16 years. And someday in the future, I'll share the whole story of Anistara. And yet, in this moment, the more that I hear that name or somebody refers to me in that name, that I embody that higher self, that authentic self. And so I prefer that people actually call me Anistara now. So I really appreciate that you do. Thank you.
Well, that's basically how I know you mostly. I mean, I think I heard your other name once, and then since then it's Anistara, so that's how I know you.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's wonderful. So, Kirsten, I know that you have a powerhouse husband. You've said his name in the past. You've mentioned how he can embody certain frequencies and then give them to the world. Can you expand a little bit more on who your husband is and what he means to you and the Hope 11.11 meditation?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Sure.
So my husband is Rennie Davis, and those of you who have seen the recently released Netflix movie, The Trial of the Chicago 7, will be familiar with his name. He was one of the Chicago 7, and really in his own right, you know, a powerhouse. Now, in the movie, he gets portrayed as this like little nerdy, scared of his own shadow. So I was like, I don't know who that was, but you know. But anyway, so really, you know, he knows what it takes to have a movement ignite and then fuel it and feed it and help it grow and help it expand. And he really believes that this group that we're calling the New Humanity, that is larger than any other human movement in history. The 60s, the Renaissance, you name it. We are massive. We just need to understand that we're a movement. We need to understand that when we are, you know, passionate about permaculture or social justice or Black Lives Matter or healthy birthing, you know, all of the things that where we are wanting to step into more thriving, where we want to come back into alignment with nature. That's all who we are, part of the New Humanity. And of course, waking up. And so we are a huge movement. And that's what we're working towards right now, is to help people remember to come together as one force. Because when we're in one force, we'll be unstoppable. I promise you that. And so Rennie, with his understanding of having felt the movement of the 60s, before it ever exploded, he knew that students were ready. He knew it. And within months, really, it had exploded and millions of people were rising up and you know, led to a long, you know, movement again, ultimately against the war in Vietnam. So yeah, so, you know, and after he, you know, that ran its course, really, he went to India based on John Lennon's urging, believe this or not. John Lennon, who he had come into partnership with right towards the end there. They were going to tour city to city to city and have these mass gatherings where there was speakers and then John would play. They had one that was so successful that after that, the Justice Department came down on John Lennon with all fours and threatened him with deportation. And so he pulled out. Otherwise, that would have happened. But yeah, it was, you know, the Beatles first went to India. And so really urged Rennie to look at that. It's not about them. It's not changing them, which is what a lot of the was about, right? It's changing them, changing the system. And so it was on John's urging that Rennie ended up going first to India for a little bit. He then came back and became, this is one of those multiple live things, a financial advisor for Fortune 500 CEOs and boards. Like, who is that? Okay. And then through a series of events, ended up in the Grand Canyon. He was going to go for 5 days. He ended up being there for 4 years. And this is really the time that opened up his abilities. Because he barely talked to any human being. I mean, he was under the wings of the Havasupai Indian tribe that was living down there, but that was pretty much it. And so he got so quiet. Talk about quieting the brain. And he opened up to listening internally. He started learning to talk to the earth, and he learned to, listen to his authentic self and what was coming through. And so that opened up really all his gifts on getting information. And, the first interview before the meditation will be he and I together, and he will lay out what he's seeing and what is really up for humanity at this time. But he is such a gift. And, it's been an interesting journey because he is 28 years older than I am. And so there was this whole, for me, process of letting go of preconceptions of who I was to love, right? And who that person in my life was going to be. And there's a whole, I won't go into it now, but there's a whole sweet story of how that happened. And, he actually got information about me 2 years before he met me. So
wonderful.
It was really sweet. But yeah, he's an incredible human being. And just, I feel so blessed and so grateful to have him in my life, to have his wisdom and his brilliance and his love and sweetness, and to be really on a journey together with somebody to try to wake up 100%, and have that partnership of really doing it together.
Yeah. Wonderful. I love that. And Andrew and I, we so appreciate power couples and others that can be in a sense, role models of how to be in partnership, how to be in relationship, how to work together. And I just feel like the two of you working on this project together and the meditation, it's just such a testimony to your love and your partnership and your allyship. Yeah. So thank you for that. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Oh, I got some bug flying around. Go away, bug. I won't hurt you. Just don't. Let me jump in for just.
I just wanted to add, we teach master classes and courses together. And the keystone one is our life principle training, which is the foundation of how to wake up 100%. And I just love teaching with him. We have so much fun.
Wonderful. Yes. And I love the phrase and the terminology of new humanity, because that is really truly where we're going. One of the things that we express a lot as well from 11.11 Unify is our collective future Earth vision, and how we can move into that. And being a new humanity is exactly how we're going to move into that, and how we can support and be in harmony with ourselves, with each other, and with the land. And so I'm really looking forward to hearing more about what Rennie has to say about all that. Now, it's his voice in the 39-minute meditation, correct?
He is the one who's guiding it, and he has this beautiful baritone.
I did actually drop in and have a listen to it the other night, and it was funny. I actually had a couple more hours of work to do, and I was like, I'm just gonna listen to it. And I listened to it, and I was like, like head on the bed, fully relaxed. I don't know if I can finish my work tonight. I'm just gonna sit in this frequency right now. So it was powerful.
And that's the thing, when you are sensitive, it can really affect you. So be aware. We have this scale. There's the thick membrane people all the way to thin membrane people. Now, I come from the thick membrane side of things. It's just how we chose to come into this lifetime. There's no better or worse. In fact, at a time like this, when there's so much energetic upheaval, being thick membrane, meaning you don't feel as much, you don't see as much, you don't, experience everything so intensely, versus, really thin membrane people that just get whacked upside the head all the time with the energetic, right? And so, we basically, I forgot my train of thought. What was I?
It's okay. Finding the middle ground, the middle membrane.
Frequencies. So when you are a thin membrane person, the frequencies in the meditation can really whack you out and can put you to sleep when the body is not used to it. Let that happen. There's not a problem there. It's a reset for the body. So just be aware of that. It can happen, which is why I do it often before the 11th. Then you can stay awake during the 11.11.
Right? Oh, exactly. So little disclaimer, please do not operate heavy machinery after this meditation. Do not listen in your vehicle while driving.
Yeah. Eat something afterwards, ground yourself afterwards, do whatever you need to do before you, drive heavy.
Yeah.
Like a car.
Right?
Really.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Well, Kirsten, I'm so grateful that we've had this time to drop in together, and I just wanted to share a little more as well. For 11.11 Unify, we do have an Eventbrite ticket link, and we'll link it to the bottom of this page. We'll also add Kirsten's website and maybe even the link to the SoundCloud, right? Can we do that? I think we can do that, right? The meditation itself. Great. Yeah. And then the invitation of sharing a video of what does hope mean to you?
Yes.
Yes. Great. So we're going to add all those links for all of you. And I just wanted to thank you so much for this time and for being open to the idea of us weaving and playing together in this way. It really is in my heart the right thing to do, and it feels aligned and it resonates with the mission, right? The mission and the purpose of new humanity and our collective future Earth vision together. And so I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, sister, for collaborating and weaving with us in this way. And is there anything else that you wanted to share with everyone before we close out?
Well, I just wanted to, hook on to what you just said about the collaboration, because in the way I'm learning to be in the world, the best structure for me is to have a foundation of principles to operate from and a vision. The vision is, a new way of living on Earth, right? How that happens in between is the juicy, emergent space, the creativity, the imagination. And so, I loved when this came up as an opportunity. It's like I wasn't expecting it, and it made perfect sense. It's like, why have two competing events when people can be allowed to weave in and out of, your event, our event, whatever draws them, and allow people to feel into what feels good in this moment, to watch, to participate in. Even like in the end, we're going to do an Imaginarium where we're going to have people engaged in imagining the future, and just weaving in and out of that, and learning to trust. I think that's big one. Trusting that this collaboration feels good, so I'm trusting the flow of it. Basically, it comes down to that, versus no, this is mine. I don't want anybody to have anything to do with it. And, it's just, that's old way of thinking. But moving from the place of what feels good, and we had to first feel out, does this feel good? There wasn't necessarily immediately, like before we talked, let's do this. It was like, no, let's explore. And I think that's really one of the ways in which to approach everything in life. Have your principles, your foundation, have your vision, and then just allow that potent space in between to be the magic and the flow of life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Indeed. Thank you. And it truly did feel that way when we first spoke. And this has been the intention all along, is to create a network of 11.11 gatherings. And even though I first visualized that it would be live events sharing a virtual piece, like live stream or, streaming between them, it ended up being all virtual events this year. And to still be able to weave in this way is just, it warms my heart. So thank you again. So appreciate you. And for all of you who would like to join Hope 11.11 and 11.11 Unify, you can go to 11.11unify.com or hope1111.com. And you can access the content of both streams via whichever email list you join, because you'll get the information from both of us. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Kirsten and Rennie, and for all the work you do in the world.
Yes,
such a pleasure to have you.
Everybody for being here, and we can't wait to be with you on November 11th. It'll be an awesome day.
Yes. And may the magic of 11.11 be yours to behold.
Oh, yes.
Blessings, family.
From your mouth to universe's ears.
Yes.
All
Goodbye,
right.
everyone. Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.